Thanks a lot. I will hear it again soon. I hope I'm not repetitive. When enlightenment happens, identification with the ego dissolves definitively. It also happens that an understanding of the truth is generated on the conditioned plane. The incarnation of truth continues over time, as it has always done even before enlightenment. What were the movements that the mind and body received over time after the illusion ended? I'm not sure I like the idea that enlightenment happens. But what happened here was, after that big awakening happened and that big shift happened, I think I really had to embrace my masculine side. If you watch my videos of the last 8 years, you'll see me becoming more strong. I actually saw a talk somebody uploaded like 4 or 5 years ago, and you can just hear it in my voice, my energy becoming, for a female, more strong. For some reason I had to become financially independent of any other human, so a man or a female or a friend, or so I had to totally provide for myself and look after myself. Like I moved to France all by myself and set up shop, which is quite intense when you don't speak the language. It really takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage. If you've ever done it before and you ever moved to a country all by yourself as a single female and unable to speak the language, it really takes buying a house and you're doing all these sorts of things. And to me, it felt like I had to embrace this masculine energy. And also doing my talks, like when I first used to do talks, the audience members sometimes used to bowl me over. Like they would come on and they would just start talking for ages and ages, and their personality dynamics, and people wanted things from me. And because I'm empathetic and conscientious, like I didn't establish enough boundaries, and because I gained a certain power by becoming popular on the internet, which is nothing but just because you have suddenly some power in what people perceive as socially higher than, then certain types of people try to own that or get that, and I had no consciousness or awareness of these types of things. I had to stand up. I had to really learn my own power and to stand in my own power on the human level. I think that's been my lesson the last like 8-9 years. Like really learning boundaries, really learning how to be totally self-sufficient, really having to live in the unknown. Like living in a country where you don't speak the language is really something. And with that, then now I feel like the feminine now. So after all that process of doing all that, now the feminine can come out more, and so I can feel this like balancing out of the masculine and feminine that's happened in my personality. It's been really beautiful and really intense, and it's so perfect when you look back on the journey. Like life always hands you on the human level gems, and I'm sure there's so much more in which this personality structure can learn and grow and expand. Yeah, that was my journey, I think. And I think also I've learned over the last years how to become a better and better speaker or teacher, even though in non-duality calling yourself a teacher is like, who's a teacher? Who teaches? Like obviously I'm not a teacher, it's just coming out, but it comes out through this form, and I feel like this form has learned and evolved from all her experiences of doing talks. and it comes out of the quality of that speaker with all their experiences. And I feel like I've really evolved as a speaker about this subject on the human level. But even though ultimately it's always coming from nothing, so there's non-duality, like my true pure speaking of it in the moment, it comes from nothing, and there's been no evolution there. It's still exactly the same message. On the human level, there's definitely been an evolution. And I've been humbled and humbled and humbled. Like all of us that live this mad, magical, wondrous existence. And I feel also from the awakening, after the awakening, like everything becomes very empty. So all your wants and desires become very empty, but you can't exist in this world with other humans without having wants and desires. So I've really had to focus on my feelings and really responding with my feelings, like really expressing all my feelings as soon as they come up, because sometimes it can feel like everything can feel so empty that you have to focus or narrow in on the smaller feelings, on the details of feelings and what you want. At first I was so passive, like I just felt like anyone could lead me anywhere, and I'd be like, yes, yes, like I did the Jim Carrey, the Yes movie, like yes, 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 because it just felt preference, as if there was no preference. And then I began to learn that you had to really focus on the detail. There is a movement, like life is always moving your body, like you get given 2 drinks now, and there is a movement towards one. It's just that it's really gentle. But the movement of life is very gentle. We're always looking for these big, high experiences, like, I want to marry you for the rest of my life, you're the one, you complete me, or this job completes me. We always want these dramatic experiences, but in the moment there's a gentle navigation that happens right here. And on the human level, I still feel that that's expanding. Like really learning to listen to what life orders, whether it's chicken nuggets or pizza or sushi, what life is ordering. And it's really not me doing it. It sounds, when I say that, like I'm doing it. It's not somebody that does it. I've got my head plugs in for nothing. It's a happening. It's a happening. And we put this information in, and it just becomes more noticed.